I Got the Hell Out does contain explicit content that might not be suitable for some listeners, such as children, those that easily get offended, and we do recommend that listeners at work put your earbuds in if you have coworkers around.
And if you like the show, please spread the word by telling as many people as you can. Would also appreciate if you would subscribe, rate, hopefully with 5 stars, and review the podcast on iTunes. You can find us there as well as on Stitcher and Overcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Was In A Cult, on Facebook at I Got The Hell Out, and on Instagram at I Got The Hell Out with an underscore after each word. You can contact us through our website at IGotTheHellOut.com. Hey everyone, I'm Laura.
Hi, and it's Debbie. And welcome to another episode of I Got the Hell Out. Well, we're up to episode 18 here, and
Yay.
we had too much material from last week.
Episode, yeah. So this is part 2 of relationships.
Yes, and we could probably have 5 different episodes on relationships, but we're not going to.
Okay.
I'm just. Oh, do you have a Kool-Aid recipe, real quick?
You know what? The Kool-Aid recipe is called We're Lazy. It is Kool-Aid and vodka because we're lazy.
Oh, okay.
We did cherry Kool-Aid and vodka because
we're lazy.
Yeah.
Well, I brought the black cherries to add to it to give us a slight ambiance to it.
It was kind of nice. We added some
and
black
you used
cherries.
fancy glasses.
And we used fancy glasses.
Fancy glasses.
Yes, but we're still lazy, so there we go.
I wasn't lazy on my homework this week.
No, you weren't.
No.
Do you want me to go first on
the
announcement we have?
No, I want to get some of this stuff out of the way.
You're going to babble first?
I just got to get some of this stuff
Go
out
for
of
it.
the way.
Go ahead.
Sarah, I'm sorry that we only had 17 episodes, but hey, you got another one and you're caught up to everybody else. Jessica, you will forever be known as Rachel to me, and you can always be known as Phoebe to me.
I'll be the Phoebe.
I'm Phoebe. She's
Phoebe.
my Rachel.
Oh.
Do you want to be Monica?
I don't give a shit. I don't
Okay,
care.
we'll make you Monica.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine. I can color coordinate and tabs. I do spreadsheets and all that stuff. That is kind of like me.
Exactly.
All right,
there you
cool.
go. And I had some questions. Oh, you know what? What were you going to say before?
I was going to talk about that we are working on getting some merchandise on Redbubble.
Okay, yeah, I did everything that I was going to do on Facebook because it wasn't a whole lot this week.
Okay.
So, hi guys, thanks to everybody who popped in to say hi and
the
had some
Facebook
fun.
group is awesome.
Oh, and guess what?
What?
On one of the comments, my bestest friend from back then.
Your bestest?
My bestest friend back then in the cult, yes. She was an elder's wife. And
Oh, get out.
yeah, if you find...
Wait, are you talking to her now?
Oh, yes.
No.
Not only that, she gave me permission to say a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yes.
I have some pictures to post.
Yes.
And forget there was something else.
Now, is her ex still in the cult?
He's in jail. He's the pedophile that's in jail.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Okay, then.
And all 3 of his wives are out and gone.
Nice.
Most of all of his children are doing very well.
I was just going to ask, how are they?
She's the only wife that I still keep in touch with.
Okay.
I was the one closest to her. But yeah, I have some quotes from her.
Oh, good.
And back to what I was saying was, she chimed in on a Facebook conversation, and she even identified herself
I missed that one. How did
as an ex-elder's wife.
Oh my God.
And-
Do you think eventually we could get her on here?
Probably pretty damn sure we could.
Nice.
I have, she told me I could share whatever I wanted, and I have a really cool text to share with you in a little bit.
Okay.
That ties in with something else
Okay.
that I have. So,
Gotcha. Okay. Do you want to go back to Redbubble?
yeah, we can go back to Redbubble.
Well, there's really not that much yet to say other than we're working on merchandise like t-shirts, coffee mugs, stuff like that. As soon as we get it up and running, we'll let you guys know.
We got chappy
But
sticks already.
what we do have is we have
Lippy shit.
We have lip stuff. We have lip balm with our
Lippy
logo
shit,
on
man.
it. Lippy shit. Okay.
That's what I call it, lippy shit.
But what we're going to do is, up until now, I had another favorite one. And I got to show you this. Look at the name of my favorite lip balm. Read it out loud.
100% pure, free-range chicken poop, lip junk, Put it on your lips. Contains no poop. All natural cosmetic moisturizer for external use only. Do not put it in your hoo-ha. And it's a product of Kansas. I love chickenpoop.com. I'll be damned.
It is the best stuff. It's not like that waxy chapstick stuff, but the story behind it is it's a woman that owns the company. It's like a family-owned business, and she grew up on a farm. And when she was little, she used to always like lick her lips a lot, and then get really
dry.
chapped. Right. Well, her grandfather used to tell her, "Stop licking your lips, or I'm going to put chicken poop on them."
Nice.
So that's why she calls it chicken poop. So one time when I was in Disney with Sammy, she was about 8 years old or so, and we would just call it chicken poop. Like, do you have any chicken poop? And I'd hand her the tube of the lip stuff. So we're getting ready to go out to Disney. We have the sunscreen on, the whole bit. So I'm like, I know, we're getting ready to leave. And I'm like, Sam, did you get the chicken poop? She's like, no, I don't want any. So I yelled to her in the lobby of the hotel, put the chicken poop on your lips. And people are looking at me, and we just like bust out laughing. But now this is no longer my favorite. Ours is our favorite.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we are going to have a contest.
Nice.
So.
No one participates in the Kool-Aid contest anymore. That's why we have to make it up.
And that's why we have the one called We're Lazy.
Well,
so, thanks, everyone.
Everyone, you're pretty much guaranteed to win the Kool-Aid contest. I'm making a calendar at the end of the year, and we're going to have 52 different, recipes. So, come on, submit your recipes. It's not that hard.
Well, for this contest, what we're going to do is we have 8 to give away.
Okay.
So, what we're going to do are... I know that when we drop the episode, like, people from other countries get it before the United States does.
Okay.
So, you have to follow us on Twitter, because the contest is on
I don't
Twitter.
Tweet.
You tweet, Damn. It's on Twitter at @wasinaCult. And what we're going to do, the first 4 people that DM us saying, I want lip stuff, or I want lippy stuff, or whatever.
Just do lippy shit.
Whatever.
Lippy shit.
DM us, and the first 4 people outside of the United States will get one. Then what we're going to do is the first person from each time zone in the United States.
Lippy shit.
Right. So we'll do, Eastern, how's it go? Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific.
You got it.
So we're going to give away a total of 8. So whenever you hear this episode and you hear this contest, if you want one of these, we will mail it out to you. Just DM us on Twitter @wasinaCult that you want some of this, and hopefully you will win.
Lippy shit.
Lippy shit.
All right.
And I think that's it for now.
Do you have anything else to cover? Because I'm just going to jump into...
Oh, you know what? I wanted to, for Culty Corrections, on 2 of the pictures that we posted, one was like getting ready for a feast, or like the feast tables.
That was the man's side.
Right, and the one was had the women with the veils on their faces.
Yes.
And we had a disclaimer on there that said, not
my picture.
Okay, can you just explain, because I just don't want people to think that we took that from like a different cult, or can you explain a little bit?
They have a Facebook page that is open to the public, and unbelievably, they're followed by like 43,000 people.
Oh, good God!
If
only we had those many people.
I don't have any idea how they got the numbers like that, but they do have a picture section, and I went in there and. Hey, if it's on the internet, it's open game, isn't it?
Right.
So
I just wanted to clarify that in case people were wondering, well, if it's not her picture, where the hell did it come from?
It came from, some of them came from their website, and some of them came from other people that I know, because we all have pictures.
Right.
We all have
so
pictures.
they're from the
inside.
They're just not ones you took by yourself.
I didn't personally take
Got
those.
it.
Credit unknown.
Got it. Okay. I think that for me, that's all I have, so you can start. What did you want to start with?
I had 3 homework assignments that
You did?
I said, well, yeah.
What were they?
Well, we were talking about how if you had a son, you couldn't talk to him about reproduction and sex.
Oh, right. Like the dad had to talk to the son, the mom had to
Right.
talk to the daughter, and
Right.
you couldn't go back and forth, whatever.
And you asked me if, Kenny had the talk with
Yes.
his son.
Right.
And I vaguely remembered and told the story, but I wasn't sure.
Okay.
And I told him, I told everybody that I would ask him when I saw him again.
Okay.
He told me that he remembers being about 6 or 7, and that's about the time I got divorced. So I guess his dad was giving him the sex talk because I was leaving the cult, he than me. I don't know.
Right. So he had to do it before he left.
Right.
Your son left.
Right. And Jesse says he just remembers it being very awkward. And like I had described it, like instructions from
Very
IKEA.
mechanical.
Yes.
Okay.
And it had nothing to do with love. It had to do with reproduction and what he wanted. And Jess was just kind of like, okay. He said it was awkward, and he really had no idea of what his dad was talking about.
Oh my God.
Until a few years later, when kids start getting into early teens.
Right.
And then it clicked what his dad was telling him.
Oh, that's what that was.
That's what that was. And it just really was, it was a shitty talk. So, and I was also supposed to ask ex-members about the toys, games.
Oh, that's right, because it said in that booklet that I was reading from,
Toys, games, and books.
like, don't give your kids toys, games or
and
books that don't, that could influence them badly or something like that.
And you asked what kind of toys weren't they allowed
Right.
to have. And I had like a total brain fart.
Right.
I was pretty useless last week.
Like me this week.
Well, I'm pretty good this week.
Oh, well, good. We're a good
Well,
pair.
it's not 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. I don't
Okay.
like doing it that late.
All right, so what about the games and books and stuff?
I've been talking to a lot of the ex-members that I'm still friends with. A lot of them, we just message back and forth.
Okay.
But I got a lot of answers, and I asked my son, and they took away Zaboomafoo.
Was that a TV show, right?
It was a TV show, and it was a lemur, and it opened
Oh
up.
my God, I remember that.
It was a nature
Yes,
show.
yes.
And we were no longer allowed to let our children
Lord,
watch
why?
Zaboomafoo.
Why?
Because the opening credits show this lemur, bouncing around in nature, doing its thing, da-da-da-da-da, and all of a sudden, magically, it's a puppet that's talking to the zookeeper, teaching you about animals.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
So the magic wasn't allowed.
no, that's sorcery, and animals don't talk. So, no Zaboomafoo for you!
You know what? This reminds me of when I used to do stuff for a Christian TV station.
Okay.
And I kid you not, there was something we were doing that had a mermaid in it. And we were not allowed to because mermaids are magic and magic is forbidden. I couldn't make this up.
Here you go. We're getting into the list that I have compiled. A lot of people gave me specific things like they remember having to take their kids' Teddy Ruxpin away.
Oh, why? Because bears don't talk?
Because bears don't talk.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
You couldn't have magic sets, or you couldn't even do, have a deck of cards and
Why?
perform magic tricks with them because it's sorcery.
You couldn't play poker?
Magic tricks.
Oh, you couldn't do magic tricks.
Well, poker wasn't allowed either because you're not supposed to gamble.
All right.
So, Barney was not allowed.
Well, that's okay with me.
I have never hated an inanimate character so much in my entire life. And Barney, my first son, loved Barney. And that was back in the days of VCR tapes.
Yep. Remember them.
And he was about 2.5, and he would always go, we whined. Well, it just so happened that one day, clicking through, the antenna TV.
Right.
And WQED was on, and it was an episode of Barney.
And what did Barney do that was not allowed?
Nothing. We were still allowed to have Barney back then.
Okay.
But,
Why was he taken away?
well, listen, my son...
I am listening. I just can't wait. I can't wait for the answer.
The episode of Barney was over, and my
Okay.
son gets up and starts pointing at the VCR. We whined. And I couldn't get it into his head that it was on TV. I couldn't rewind it.
It wasn't. Okay, I got you.
So, yeah, that was Jesse's first, go-round with it's on TV. It's...
Gotcha.
Because
It's
you
not a
really
tape.
didn't watch TV. At that point, you still didn't really watch TV, but there might have been something
okay.
educational on QED.
QED, right.
Yes. And let's see. Oh, why did Barney get taken away?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, dinosaurs.
Okay.
Second of all, even if there was dinosaurs, they weren't purple talking ones.
Okay.
And Barney, I was very happy that Barney got taken away. Oh my gosh, that was one of the few things I didn't even think about that till now. They took Barney away. Yay, Cole! Thank you for one little thing in 10 years. Oh, we weren't allowed to use brand name Play-Doh.
Why?
And we weren't allowed to use Crayola products.
Oh, for God. Why?
Couple episodes ago about what was clean and unclean in the food system. And
Okay, so what was in Play-Doh?
something unclean.
But the generic didn't have it?
Rose Art. Rose Art was the only products that we were allowed to use with
How
our
much
kids.
do you want to bet they were in cahoots with Rose Art, and that's what it had to do with? I would bet you any money.
I have no idea, but
Give me a break. And Crayola crayons are so much different than the generic.
something that's in the crayons.
Oh, bullshit.
And you know what? Nobody could remember what was in them. I don't really care to think about it too much. Can I go on with my list?
You can't. I'm calling bullshit, but sure.
You weren't allowed to have anything with monsters. They took cartoons away
Why?
because they're unnatural.
For fuck's sake. Oh my God.
Barbies.
Why? Because they had boobies?
I don't know. I didn't have girls, and no one really elaborated on it.
I bet you that's what it was.
The Ouija board was not allowed.
Oh, I can see that.
Well, it does say, well, you know, when you buy a Ouija board, it does say on the box for ages 8 and up.
Yep.
So at 8 years old, you can conjure the devil.
Awesome.
Isn't that funny?
Awesome.
Yes. Harry Potter was not allowed.
Oh, yep. A lot of churches frown on
well,
Harry Potter.
basically anything that was
Sorcery.
fantasy.
Okay.
And it could have been, hold on.
What was that?
I dropped my phone. I have quite a bit of material on my phone.
Okay.
So anything that was fantasy, not real, fairies, dragons.
Were you allowed to tell fairy tales?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
Okay.
That's all pagan stuff.
Sorry.
And exciting news. I talked to Peppermint Oil Man.
Oh,
the hemorrhoids?
the hemorrhoid guy.
I-
You put peppermint oil up his butt.
When I left, he had 5 kids.
Okay.
And I have access to talking to him. So I called him up and asked him, do you...
How his hemorrhoids were?
No.
Hey, have you stuck peppermint oil up your ass lately?
He's a smart ass, and he said the children were not allowed any adult toys. They were only for the adults.
Well, that's good.
Hey, that's Peppermint Oil's man take on. Yeah. Let's see. And the last one I have from another friend is that he was a guy, and he remembers no sports. No basketball, no football, no
Now,
soccer.
watching on TV or playing?
Both.
So you mean like if they were outside, they couldn't throw a football around?
No.
Why?
I guess because it's pagan?
What, throwing a ball is pagan?
I don't know. I can try and find
what,
out.
What were they like? What did they do then? Like, what kind of entertainment? What were they allowed to do?
He told me that he distinctly remembers that the kids got in trouble. They had an imaginary hoop that was up against a wall.
Oh, we can't imagine things.
Well, they couldn't put up a real hoop. So that if you just hit the ball on this one spot on the wall.
But you were allowed a basketball.
No, that they weren't really allowed to have it. Don't ask me where they got it. He just remembers there was about 6 or 7 of them playing basketball, and they were throwing it up against the wall, and they'd cheer amongst themselves like because they were using the same wall as the same net. And the elders came out, confiscated the ball, yelled at them. Parents were taught to. It's a waste of time, and I think the contact, like you're not allowed to touch people.
Oh, for God's sake, that's right.
I don't know. But that's what most of the members that I talked to personally said. But again, my dear friend that I talked to, that was an elder's wife, she texted me this answer. She was at work today and she wasn't able to actually talk to me. But I asked her, do you remember what toys, books, and games were not allowed?
Oh, and this is coming from an elder's wife.
This is coming from an elder's wife. Her and her children are all gone. He's in jail.
He's okay.
All good. She said, as far as toys, I had to throw away all of my kids' dinosaurs, cars, coloring books, Legos,
Cars?
board games, movies, basically anything that was a waster of time. If it had nothing to do with the work, it was a waste. The girls could have baby dolls to teach them to be good mothers, but they also had to work. My girls were the daughters of an elder, and even though only elders' kids could go to school, and my girls wrote numerous letters to the head poobah asking if they could go to school, they were made to work canning, cafeteria, and cleanup crew. My son was not allowed schooling either. He had to work the farm. None of my kids were given an envelope at the end of the week like everyone else and still had to pay for their meals if they did not bring one to work. I ended up putting $50 in 3 envelopes every week and dropping it off at the office so my kids would feel like they were getting paid.
But what do you mean by envelope? I don't understand.
The people got paid in an envelope. Like, here's your $40, you worked 40 weeks. Here's 2 $20 bills. You didn't get a check from them.
So you're talking about even like the little kids?
I told you, everybody works.
Oh my God.
From the age of 6.
They work, but they didn't get...
They don't get paid.
Because they're an elder's kid?
No, because they're children. I guess
so it's slave labor.
Up until the age of 13, I think so, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The girls are sent to tend with the chickens and the eggs and stuff.
And no education.
They do the butter house where they turn the cream into butter and other assorted things. The boys are sent to work out in the fields, in the fish hatcheries, in the slaughterhouse. It's not nice. And I forgot that after they opened a school, but only the elders' children were allowed to attend. Like I told you, it's classes, relationships at this point.
Right.
And only elders' children were allowed to attend. And you would figure that every elder's child would be able to.
Right.
And I'm not sure if he was in jail at that point or not. But I guess the kids had to write a letter to the head man, the leader, and ask. I guess her children at least were writing these letters.
Saying, can we go to school?
I want to go to school. I want to go to school. And they were denied. So none of them ever went to school. They never got paid.
Oh my God.
And their mom was actually putting her own money in envelopes so her children would think they were getting paid.
You would think that the elders' kids would be treated a little better.
Let's just say she was my best friend. And, well, when you're not exactly the best example and you're doing stuff you're not supposed to, you're not treated real nice. She had to endure 6 weeks of counseling. Oh, shout out to you, Stace. I miss you.
Wait, why did she have to have counseling?
Because she was rebellious about something. She was refusing to do it. She confirmed to me with a statement that I made about the elders' wives were the first to do anything, whether it was no tank tops to, you have to have a sleeve.
Oh, yeah, you were saying they would start it out and then people would have to follow.
Well, she listens to the show, and she actually contacted me and texted me and told me that, that the elders' wives, and here it is, in parentheses, in bold letters, strongly encouraged to set a good example. Right. And I'm not sure what it was. I'm sure she'll let me know, but I guess she was refusing to set a good example, and she had to endure 6 weeks of counseling of some sort.
Oh my God.
So I can't wait to have her as a guest on the show.
Oh my God, me neither.
The secrets that she knows, and some of the
it's
stuff
going to be like a 5-parter with her.
Some of the things that even I know that she's told me in confidence, I can't reveal. It's not for me to reveal.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Do you have anything that you'd like to ask while I'm looking up what else? Oh, and there were also no books unless it was printed by them. That was because see, she was there after me. I left in 2003, and I don't think she left until 2005 or 6, something like that. So I'm not sure.
So basically, the only thing they could read was the Bible, basically.
They made their own children's books.
Okay, something that was printed by them.
Yes, but it was like Bible story
But it was
books.
all...
Yeah, it was Bible stories.
Related.
So, like, it would be the story of Noah's Ark type thing or whatever kind of books. I do know that in the survivors group, somebody posted that their mother that was still in the cult, by the way, that's the bitch I love to hate, sent her granddaughters cult coloring books. And
Oh, I wish we could get one.
that's creepy.
I want to look at one.
Anyway, he took them outside and he burned them and sent his mother pictures of them burning.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
That's
he
beautiful.
did. Yes, he did. Okay. The third thing I had for homework is a bit of a touchy subject, okay? I'm going to warn everybody that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and sometimes topics are hard. So, I'm going to start by saying that every Bible, when you pick it up on the front page, says that it is edited and revised.
Okay, right.
You can pick 20 different versions. They might all say similarly the same things, but they're all going to be worded in a different kind of way. Some of them, like even the King James Version, took out the plural of wives. It's wife in a lot of spots, okay? I have studied in, like I said, it goes back to the original Greek in Hebrew. It's the original text. Anyway. You wanted, last week, I was talking about the elders that crawled in windows and...
Right, the creepy elders that crawled in the windows.
They basically raped teenage girls, and then they became their wives. And
lock your windows,
you were
folks.
appalled, and I said, it's scriptural, and I will find it for you. And you told me that I better
That you
darn
can
well
crawl in
find
through
it
the
for you.
window.
No, that it was scriptural that a man can rape a woman and then pay her father, and she must become his wife. And you were like, no.
What the hell was...
That was my phone.
Oh my God. So,
I'm always so animated.
Oh my God. So that is where the elders got that this was okay, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Because in the first 5 books, and I'm going to give you the scriptures and I'm going to read them.
Okay. So where does it say that?
It is in Deuteronomy 22, verses 28 and 29. And of course, I dropped my phone, and now I have to turn it back on and find. Okay, here is the law of rape. I'm going to tell you, Laura, I don't know what version of the Bible this is.
Okay.
You should have seen my neighbor's face when she came over last night. And I says, do you have a Bible I can borrow? And her face went, I wish people could see that. But... And she's like, are you converting back to the home team? And I'm like, no, I just need to look up some scriptures and be specific in what I'm looking for.
Right.
So, yeah, Deuteronomy 22, Deuteronomy 22, 28, and 29. If a man is caught in the act of raping a young woman who is not engaged, that's key, not engaged, okay? He must pay 50 pieces of silver to her father. He must marry the young woman because he violated her, and he will never be allowed to divorce her. Seriously.
So that's where the elders were like, hey, bingo, we can follow this and we can do that.
Yes.
Okay.
And
wonderful.
as far as I know, the fathers were paid for the daughters, and the daughters became the elders' wives. And now it's
okay, I don't know if you know this answer or if you can...
Now, hold on. The only reason I say it's specific because if he's raping a young woman who is not engaged or betrothed, okay? Because the next one I'm going to read you, because I told you last week God condones rape. And, I mean, some people... I've lost friends over saying that. But when I bring up these Bible scriptures, these are things people have never obviously read. And... break out your Bibles, is all I can tell you. Okay. Now, Deuteronomy 22 again, but lines 23 and 24. If within the city a man comes upon a maiden who is betrothed or engaged and has relations with her, which means basically rape her, you shall bring them both out of the gate of the city, and there you shall stone them to death. The girl, because she did not cry out for help, though she was in the city. So if she doesn't scream loud enough and find somebody to help her, okay? And the man, because he violated his neighbor's wife. They're both getting stoned to death, okay? God doesn't...
He should, not her.
Now, wait a minute. This is screwed up, and when I point this out to religious people, they can't come back with anything. The reason they stoned the man to death is because he violated his neighbor's property. Women were nothing but property. And the reason the woman got stoned to death is because she was somebody's property and she's no longer pure. She can no longer be used for sex. That husband can never have relations with that wife
Well,
again.
the man should be stoned to death just because of what he did, period. End of story. Move on.
But what I'm saying is God is killing the woman too because she's a piece of property and she's no longer worthy because somebody else violated her.
And that's, again, why the cult viewed women as property, because, again, hey, we're going to follow this.
I'm not going to read all of these. Like, I just...
Okay.
I'm
Well,
going to read one more.
All right, well, can I ask you this? Did your friend that was an elder's wife, did she go through any of this? Is that how she became an elder's wife? Or did she just meet the elder in a, quote, normal way? Are you able to answer this, or you don't want to answer?
I know the answer. I don't know if she cares if I say or not, but let's just say he's in jail for pedophilia.
Gotcha.
So
they didn't meet, like, at a dance, is what you're saying.
They could have, but, like, you can meet and this, that, and the other thing, but the second you become nasty with each other, that's when you have to be husband and wife. Okay, I'm looking for... Okay.
Well, I'm glad he's in jail.
The last thing I'm going to read for you, and the only reason I'm going to read it, is because I told you there are my Jehovah's Witness friends who come and visit me.
Okay.
And I give them homework, and I give them scriptures. Usually it's the other way around,
right.
You know? And I told them that I could never believe in God in the Bible as it's written because it's very evil and corrupt, and God condones rape. And I had all these scriptures written down. They took pictures of it, and it was the last time they were at my house because it was fall. I don't let them in my house. We sit out on the porch when it's nice. I'm going to read this, but I'm going to go get those really cold neck things because I'm sweating to death at this point.
Okay.
Take a break.
Okay.
And we'll be back in just a moment. Oh, click on the computer for you guys. So be right back.
All right. Okay, we're back. Where did we leave off?
We left off with talking about my Jehovah friends who come and visit me. And I had told you I gave him that homework assignment that God says rape is okay.
Okay.
He came back to me, and I'm actually going to read... I dug out the cult's Bible.
Okay.
Okay? And Deuteronomy 21:10 through 14 reads...
Now, this is the cult's version.
This is the cult's version.
Okay.
When you go to war against your enemies, and God delivers them into your hands, and you take captives... If you see among the captives a beautiful woman and are attracted to her, you may take her as your wife. Bring her into your home and have her shave her head, trim her nails, and put aside the clothes she was wearing when captured. After she has lived in your house and mourned her father and mother for a full moon, then you may go to her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. Okay. That is different than the one... I'm just going to read the bottom part of this because it's slightly different than the cults. After she has mourned her father and mother for a full month, you may have relations with her, and you shall be her husband, and she shall be your wife. Now, see, in the cult version, they took out relations, but relations is what makes you husband and wife.
And that's sex.
Yes, because you defiled the woman. However, if later on you lose your liking for her, you shall give her her freedom, if she wishes it, but you shall not sell her or enslave her, since she was married to you under compulsion.
Oh, you can't sell her. Oh, how nice.
Well, now, the Jehovah people that come to see me, he read basically the same verses that I have just read in two separate medias here. Not two medias.
Just versions of the Bible?
Two versions of the Bible.
Okay.
Now, their version in their Jehovah book just says, if you after a month, if you find her displeasing, you may not sell her. You must put her outside the gates. Da 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 da. Okay. But basically, all three, you can tell he had sex with her.
Right.
And it's probably against her will because, now listen, when you go against your enemies, they kill. Okay, the scriptures that I read, you go and you kill every man from however old down to babies, okay? Mm-hmm. Every woman that is married or has had relations with a man because they're not pure, okay?
Right, okay.
Now, my Jehovah's friend's wife, she's sitting there, and I said, after he was done reading that, and he says, see, God doesn't condone rape. He's letting her go because if he doesn't find her pleasing. And I says, well, first of all, I says, who gives the woman any choice in the first place? If the man finds her displeasing, he can send her away. What if she finds him repulsive?
Right. Yeah.
And secondly, she's just watched, imagine yourself, who is ever is listening to this. Imagine that you are 10 or 11 years old and you're a female. These people who are soldiers come into, well, the neighborhood we're sitting in. You watch everybody that you know being slaughtered. Your baby brother is...
That's like some of the wars nowadays, though, in other countries.
Your baby brother is getting his head bashed off of a rock. Your mother's being beheaded. Your uncles, your brothers, everybody, your friends, they're all killed. The only people left are young virgin girls. Now you're taken away to someplace you've never been, okay?
Right.
And I says, and they shave your head and cut all your nails off. That's going to make you feel real good to begin with, ain't it? Now they take your clothes from you and they give you the clothes of their country, whatever that might be. This man has sex with you, finds you displeasing. He can't sell you, doesn't want to keep you, so he sets you outside the gates.
Nice. How nice.
And I said to my friend, my Jehovah friend, I says, how would that make you feel? Everybody you know is dead and you're in a foreign land and you're now standing outside the gates of the city. And she looked at me and she said, I never really thought of that before. And I said, whether the man had sex with her or not, everybody she knows is dead. And she's in a foreign place. How is that merciful from God? And she says, I have to think about that one. And that was the last time they were at my house. But they only come during good weather and we sit on the porch. So I think the last time they came was maybe second, third week in October.
You're due for a visit.
I was waiting the past couple weeks for them, but sorry about the key clatter. I have to open my homework book back up here. I'm not going to read any more out of the Bible, but for anybody else who is interested, you might want to look up Numbers 31, 7 through 18, Deuteronomy 20, 10 through 14. Oh, we just did that one. Deuteronomy 22, 23 and line 24. Judges 21, 10 through 24. And Exodus is interesting. That's all about sex slaves. Exodus 21, 7 through 11.
All right.
And anybody out there who actually looks this stuff up and would like to have a conversation about it on Facebook, just let me know. Let me know. Those were the things that I had to talk about from last week.
Oh my God, we're already a half hour in.
Well, I did. I told you it was going to kind of be long, and I thought about a lot of things.
I'm not complaining.
I'm
just making a statement. I'm making a statement. I just happened to look over at the counter, like the timer, and I was like, damn.
Do you realize I went downstairs to get that cold pack and totally forgot it? That's okay.
Does that surprise me?
No,
not at all.
No. But pool parties. We had a swimming pool.
Okay.
And we used to have massive pool parties. Men, women, whole
Now,
nine
this
yards.
is while you guys were all allowed to be together.
Allowed to be social, yes. I'd have to
okay.
say this was back. My youngest son could swim before he could walk. It was funny because I'd set him down on the deck and he would crawl straight for the pool, and I would just laugh every time because if somebody, like, say you came over for the first time, I'd make sure you were too far away to grab the baby.
But just watch him, like, crawl into the pool.
Watch him crawl and flop into the water and watch you freak out. And me go,
God.
oh, he's good. You know, and he's like 10, 11 months old.
That's so funny.
He could swim. He could swim before he could walk. But we would have pool parties.
Okay, what kind of bathing suits did you have to wear?
In the beginning, we wore bathing suits.
Just
and
like
trunks.
regular.
But that would be like me and my husband and you and your husband and kids getting together. And maybe
What was
with
that squeaking sound.
the pitiful ass chair you gave me to
Sorry.
sit on.
I'm sorry. I was just like, what is that noise? Oh my God. Okay, back to bathing suits.
We got a pitiful setup here.
We if people could only see this. Oh dear
We
God.
should have Sammy snap a picture of this.
Oh my God.
Back to pool parties.
Anyway, pool parties.
They changed it to you had to wear t-shirts and a shorts that came to your knees, both men and women.
Okay.
But nobody could wear a white t-shirt.
Oh, see-through.
Well, of course.
Short sleeve or long sleeve shirt? Did it matter, or just a t-shirt?
It was just a t-shirt.
Okay.
But t-shirt and shorts that went to your knees. And then it was only men could swim, okay?
Oh.
Because the women could make the water unclean, and we were looking at them while they were soaked.
So the women had to like sweat their asses off.
No. The men would swim first, and the women would be in the house doing whatever. So when the men got done swimming, then the women could go out and go swimming, and the men would be inside. That's when the first like public separation of weird stuff started.
Okay.
And then it got down to where if Kenny wanted to have a pool party for his friends, I had to be somewhere else because I might see somebody's wet, naked, glistening body underneath, knee shorts and yeah.
Now, were you allowed to have a pool party, or was it just the men?
I was.
Okay.
I had my friends over quite often.
And did Kenny have to go somewhere else?
Remember, he worked out of town and only came home 3 to 5 days a week. A month.
But if he did live there all the time, did he have to go somewhere like you had to go somewhere? Or was he allowed to stay there?
I couldn't make him. If some people's husbands, if I would have been married to them, I would have had to have planned when he was gone because he didn't want to be inconvenienced.
Gotcha.
But since Kenny...
And we can't be inconvenienced.
Right. And since Kenny was out of town and only came home 3 to 5 days a week, I could pretty much have a pool party anytime I want to.
Right.
And when he came home...
You mean 3 to 5 times a month?
3 to 5 days.
A month or a week?
A month.
Because you said a week.
I'm sorry.
And I was like, wait, what?
No. It's the sweat. It's seeping into my brain or something. No, I'm only kidding. He came home 3 to 5 days a month.
Okay.
So
you could just like have all the pool parties you wanted.
Yeah, and when he came home, my friends knew there were no pool parties for that weekend, those days and stuff. Let's see. Now, remember I told you that they shunned you when you left?
Yes.
That way, you either had a hard time getting out. I used to go grocery shopping on Saturday during services after I left.
After you left, okay.
Because it hurt too bad running into people that pretended I didn't exist.
Oh, man. Like they would literally just look at you and look the other way?
They look through you.
Oh, that's creepy.
It is. I did get my rocks off though because I would make sure I had bunches of packages of bacon in my cart, and if somebody would ignore me, I'd chuck a pack of bacon in their cart, and they'd have to abandon the whole thing. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They'd have to abandon the whole cart.
That is so beautiful.
Yep, I'd chase them around the grocery store. They'd be running around. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Anyway. My kids are with their dad for the weekend. I need just a few groceries. So I went to the local grocery store rather than go all the way across town to Walmart. And I just grabbed that little plastic carry thing, right? And I put an item or two in it. And I'm walking through the store. And there's the fucking big man himself looking at the shrimp in the case.
Oh, that's a no-no.
But it's the big man himself. He's supposed to be at some peace conference for the last week.
Well, isn't he supposed to be doing the service?
He's at a peace conference, supposedly in Europe or somewhere.
Oh,
okay?
Busted.
By me, at least. Now, here's one of the biggest regrets in my life, Laura. I walk up to the Grand Poobah.
No, wait, there was no such things as like the smartphones with the camera.
No.
Oh,
No.
Damn.
This was back in 2003. 2004. Okay. It was sometime between...
could you imagine if you had a smartphone with a camera?
Just so many...
Oh, man.
Well, listen. I marched up to him and I was angry as hell. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? Because it's the Sabbath.
Right. And he's looking at shrimp.
He's looking at shrimp. And it was blowing my mind. I guess because I had just freshly gotten out. And I walked up to him and I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? And he looked at me and giggled. And he goes, little girl, I can do whatever the hell I want. Them people are all at services. And he says,
oh, the little girl.
And he called me a follow-up. Then he said, Tell anybody you want that you saw me here. Nobody's going to believe you. You're a fall away. And he giggled and went back to looking at his shrimp. Laura, I was just so in such shell shock. And I walked away.
Oh my God.
Damn well knowing I could tell everybody and nobody would believe
No
me.
one would, right.
2 days later, it dawned on me, I should have taken that plastic shopping basket and beat the absolute living fuck out of him. Can you imagine the cuts in the skin
Oh,
that would have
that
come
would
off
be
his
nice.
face and head? And not only that, the police would have been called, right?
Oh, and he could have legitimately been busted.
Yes.
Oh, damn it.
And not only that, I'm sure the press would have been involved. When I started screaming, somebody call, the local station and
This is cult leader so-and-so.
yes. And, I
Oh,
even
man.
at that, I could have beat the hell out of him with that blue basket. Bam, 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 bam.
Or I'm
bam,
sure
bam.
you had like a can of something. You could like bash his head in with a can.
No, I just wanted to grab that plastic shopping basket and just start going wham, wham, bam, bam.
Oh, that would have been so great.
I wish I could have busted him, but, and I told my ex when I went to go get the kids, and he didn't believe me. He said, yeah, followaways will say anything. And, yeah. Friends, we're going to...
So meanwhile, the Grand Poobah is at his house having lobster and shrimp.
Yes.
That's not allowed.
Yes. A friend of mine
That
that was
piece
one
of
of
shit.
a friend of mine that was one of his personal house cleaners and shoppers and stuff like that. She would constantly be going in his kitchen and putting groceries away, and there'd be mozzarella cheese sticks. And she'd go, well, Pastor, you can't have this. And he's like, oh, I don't know how it got in there. Throw that away. Every time he was eating whatever the hell he wanted.
Right, yeah.
Oh, you want to hear a really good story that pisses me off to this day?
Oh, one that tops that?
Oh, yeah. My ex fell off of a 3-story building. He was in construction, like I said. Somebody else was at fault. Make a long story short, we got an insurance settlement of $145,000.
Okay, some nice money.
Yep. That included $15,000 of my consortium money, a loss of consortium money. That means you can't have sex. Do you know that?
Wait, what?
Well, loss of consortium means we could no longer have relations because he was so messed up.
So you got money for that?
I got $15,000 because he couldn't have sex with me anymore.
Oh, damn. All right.
Okay.
Hey.
Now, I'm not going to do the math, but the attorneys take 33 1/3%. Plus, they also take stamps and all kinds.
Oh, yeah, paper clips, staples, right.
Whatever, okay? By the time we got... Not only that, we had to pay first, second, and third tithe on $145,000.
So how much did you end up actually getting?
Well, let's just say, what's 14,000 times 3? Anybody do the math quickly?
Anybody want to do the math quickly? 14,000 times 3...
42,000.
Or something like, yeah.
42,000. I packed up and was able to leave the state at one point. And I stopped at a really good friend of mine's house that was married to one of the pastor's kids. Okay?
Okay.
As we're sitting there indulging in adult beverages, her eyes got big as saucers. She went, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, I gotta show you something. She comes back with a photo album. Okay? She starts showing me all of these photos and tells me and thanks me for the best vacation she's ever had in her entire freaking life.
What is she talking about?
Pastor just got $43,000
Oh, your tithe
in
money.
one shot.
Your tithe money.
Yeah.
From the settlement.
Yeah. $43,000.
And he took it on vacation?
He took him, a couple of his wives, his kids, significant others, and a few other choice people. So like 15 people went to Vegas and spent 10 days blowing the $43,000. And let me tell you,
Oh, my God. How did you not smack the living piss out of this guy?
this was my girlfriend, a friend of mine that's a girl. She was married to one of the pastor's sons. And she got to go on the trip of a lifetime. They spent money every time they were turning
and I'm sure that they ate things they were only allowed to eat, right?
And let's just say Pastor was, surrounded by girls. It's Vegas that are wearing practically nothing. That fire dancers. They're eating at this
my
posh
God.
restaurant. Yeah, it's all in who you know. It's all in who you know. Getting back to, oh, look, I got out. I called a friend of mine that I only talk to her once or maybe twice a year.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because it's part of the psychology one that we did.
Okay.
I am the absolute last person that she talks to from that place. And I know she was close friends with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And the one time I asked her why, and she says, because it pains her to remember that place.
She wants to block it all out.
She wants to block it all out. And that's why she's cut everybody off. I mean, she even had better friends than me, but I helped her out with some stuff a couple of times, and I was always there for her. But yeah, everybody deals with it differently.
Oh, I'm sure.
Completely
I'm
different.
sure. And you probably can't even say, oh, well, this is what I would do unless you've gone through it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just like it is with anything else. It's like, oh, well, I wonder why she did this or I wouldn't have done that. Well, until you've gone through, fill in the blank.
You can't say.
You can't say because
really
you
can't
don't know.
say.
Right.
I forgot to mention that I did talk to a lot of my guy friends. They either didn't have wedding rings to take off, or it was just like my ex. They just didn't care.
Didn't care.
And some of the guys that I asked who took the wedding rings off said, you were there to kiss the big man's ass. It was nothing. It's a ring. It's one less thing
To worry about.
And here's an interesting one for you. We're going to do a whole thing on purity class at some point.
Okay.
I've mentioned purity class. Now, when things started to change with the purity classes, Laura, you're on your period. You're sitting on that chair. You've just made it unclean. Which means
damn bad.
Which means anybody who comes in and sits on that chair after you is made unclean, even if they know it or not.
Oh my God. Okay.
So here comes the menstrual mats. Yeah.
God, I've heard it all. Okay.
To this day,
It's like a yoga mat.
to this day, when I clean people's houses and I pick the vinyl placemats up on the tables, all my head is screaming is menstrual mats.
God. Oh. Do you want to do that episode next week?
I don't know. But what I'm getting at is when you would see a woman walking around with her menstrual mat, people avoided her like the plague because that will make
my God.
me talking you talking to me, spittle can fly from your mouth. That's why the veils are there. Yeah. So you can't be unclean.
Where do they get this bullshit from?
Laura, I dare you to read the first 5 freaking books of a Bible.
Oh God, I know.
You're calling on God who wrote this crap. Come on. Seriously. Menstrual mats, yeah. Then there were the clean and unclean bathrooms, and if somebody saw you coming out of the unclean bathroom, ooh, that was bad stuff too. And by the way, don't look people in the eye. That means you want to have sex.
Yes, you did say that.
Yes. I don't know how much more time we have left. Do you have any questions or anything?
I'm just caught up on the whole menstrual mat thing.
Would you like one for Christmas?
Hell no.
Seriously, I look at these people's
No, wait, what exactly?
tables.
Wait, was it just something they had to buy there, or was it just like I can go to Walmart and buy a placemat?
You buy a placemat. It has to be a vinyl placemat.
The cult have their own.
They sold their own.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Did they say?
They did stock up for a feast time when out-of-towners or new people would come, and the woman didn't know. Oh, you need a menstrual mat.
Now, what if a woman was like, I'm not falling for this bullshit. I have my period. I don't really care. Or did women were just so caught up in it that they followed?
Well,
You know what I mean? Because technically, no one really has to know.
Well, look, if I run into you at Walmart and you got tampons in your cart, and I never see you use the unclean women's bathroom, and you use the women's clean bathroom every week, and I've talked to you, you're like, oh man, I got cramps really bad, right? You got any Motrin, whatever.
Right.
I know you're having your period because
But
I know.
I'm just saying, technically, a day here, a day there, you could fool. No one needs to know.
I had friends that did and didn't do a lot of the stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like lugging this mat around with me. The hell
It's
with
a
it.
freaking placemat. Come on. You stick it in the diaper bag with everything else.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We had blue loner ones too. Remember I told you?
Oh jeez. Stop. Just stop.
Remember I told you if you saw a blue headscarf or a blue kippa, it was a loner, usually a
so
kid.
you had loner
Menstrual mats. Yeah, you went to services today, Laura, and oh my gosh, you started your period and you can't sit back down at services, so you get a blue vinyl placemat that's
Just
a loner.
Stop.
I don't know what to tell you. And no, I did not take any placemats when I left there.
Oh dear God, I don't want any part of that.
Are you ever going to look at placemats the same again?
No. And then they were just like reused. The blue ones were just reused by other people, or do they burn them?
Look, you just sit on it. Like,
I know that.
why
but
would you burn it? You wipe it off
because
with
they're unclean.
Well, you wipe it off.
Like I'm talking from the cult's philosophy.
Well, what you do is when services is over and you have your loner menstrual mat,
Right, it comes back.
you take it back into the unclean bathroom.
Oh, God.
You wipe it down and you hang it up for the next person. It'll be
And it magically becomes clean.
it's sunset.
Oh God.
Everything
okay.
becomes clean at sunset.
I roll.
Now, see whether you touch a menstruating woman at 9 a.m.
You're unclean until.
or you touch her at 5 minutes to sundown. You hurry up, take your ablution right before sunset, and you're magically clean when the sun goes down.
Of course you are.
Magically.
But they don't believe in magic, though. How
No.
ironic is that?
Exactly.
They don't believe in magic, but yet magically.
Well, I asked about paper products because you can't really, dip paper product. What if I sneeze on my scripture book and I'm unclean? My scripture book's
Right.
unclean.
Right.
I was told paper doesn't count.
Of course not, because that would be too much of a pain in the ass for them to have it count.
Well, actually, if they were smarter, women should have had 2 books, a clean book and an unclean
See,
book.
if they were smart.
Smarter, if they were smarter.
You must have 2.
Yeah, one for your clean time and one for your unclean time.
Oh my God. They could have made you had 2 of everything.
We had an unclean bathroom.
No, but I'm talking about clothing. I mean, they could have made you have unclean clothing. They could have come up with some bullshit.
I'm surprised they didn't come up with the menstrual mats of 2 different colors, clean and counting, because flowing and counting are 2 different things. Your flowing is way worse than counting. So,
You know what?
have you had enough of period talk?
Jeez. What? Such bullshit.
I so want you to go undercover for a month.
Oh my God. I would not make it. I would be like, you can shove this menstrual mat so far up your ass.
What about the veil you have to wear? And it's 105 degrees out. Come
That
on.
wouldn't happen.
And that picture it's probably 100 degrees outside. Well, probably 90.
And I can only imagine
It's probably
inside.
90 because it's sunset. It was like 7:30. It was probably right before the meal was served or the services started. Probably right before services started. Anyway, yeah, they're all covered over. And there's no air conditioning. It's only fans in there.
Nope. Big fat nope.
Come on, Laura, it'll be fine.
Big fat nope. I'll just listen to your stories. How's that sound? No way.
You're living vicariously through me.
Dear God, no.
My challenge to you next week is to get through an entire episode without saying the word God. So what is your challenge to me next week? And if you have to think about it, think about it.
I got to think about it.
'Cause
I know. Do the podcast without drinking a beer.
Ooh, does Kool-Aid count?
You can have your Kool-Aid, no beer.
Oh, I can do that in a heartbeat.
Okay.
If you said no alcohol, that would be just like, psh, different.
I wouldn't. I like you too much. I wouldn't do that to you.
Okay.
That would be
funny.
just cruel.
That's funny.
That would just be cruel. But
Well,
hey, do you want to hear about our promo that we're talking about?
Well,
Remember?
I was just gonna let the guys out there know that if anything in the past 2 episodes I've discussed, if you got questions or anything about it, feel free to hit us up on Facebook. I love talking to people all day.
Oh, the Facebook. I always say this, but the Facebook conversations are really, really awesome.
That's my favorite part.
Oh my God! Like it's just like back and forth and like so many good points people
I'm
make in
connected to
conversations.
people that I would have never have met before in life.
It's amazing.
It
like
is.
all over the world.
Yes.
So yeah, so you gotta follow us on Facebook, people.
We have
And everyone that is, thank you so much.
we have over 450.
I know.
And I looked in the one spot, and we have like 300 at least people that either engage with, they at least look at it.
At least like a picture.
No,
or
they
something.
at least look at it or like the picture or they make a comment. So
Nice.
we have 300
Nice.
plus active members out of 450. So it's a really lively group.
It is. I really love, and like, I love how you respond to everybody.
I have fun doing it.
That's great.
Anyway, that's all I have to say on relationships at this point. And I guess we have a promo for next week.
We do, because we are like spreading the love. We like to help promote other podcasts, and because there's enough.
I want to see everybody win. I don't
Exactly.
Why can't everybody
Right,
win?
Exactly.
So
Yeah, it's like there's no competition. There's
everybody
none of that.
help everybody. Everybody wins.
Right, exactly.
So what one we got?
So
coming
this
up?
one, it is called So It Is Told, and on Twitter, he is at So It Is Told Cast. Okay. And it is a podcast where today's comedians, travelers, and all-around amateurs discuss yesterday's fables, myths, and fairy tales.
Oh, that is so pagan.
I was just going to say, so the cult would not like that.
No, that is so
But wait,
pagan.
I got to show you these. Like, guys, you got to follow him on Twitter, because look at these pictures that he posts.
I wondered if he did them himself.
I don't know if he did them himself or if
Oh,
he...
I wish you people could see stuff.
Look at these gorgeous pictures.
Nice. I think he might have drawn them all because they're all drawn in the same style.
They're all, but anyway, you got to follow this on Twitter. It is, where did that go again? I just lost it. So It Is Told. So we're going to play his promo. And he is from Quebec. Quebec, if you want to say it French. Quebec. I think it's...
Okay. You're going to confuse me. Okay, go Canada.
Yeah. So
They like ham too up there. They like ham up there. Canadian ham.
Canadian bacon.
Yeah, that's it.
Canadian ham.
What
the
bacon
hell?
is ham.
Good God.
Again with
The
the God.
heat is getting to you.
I'm
The heat
telling
is
you.
getting
I
to
am
you.
telling you.
I swear. So you got anything else?
I got nothing. Guys, as always, if you need to get the hell out, try and find somebody to help you get the hell out. And oh, by the way, I recruited your brother to help us with the website. So, yeah.
Yeah, let's see how quickly he acts.
Okay.
His wedding's coming up. So you got to cut him a break.
It's just the things that we want done. He told me they were so simple to do. You gave him the passwords and all the crap he needs. I'm hoping that by the time I get back to his place to work for him, it's going to be done.
Good luck with that.
I'll guilt
Want
him.
a wager?
I'll guilt him into it. And Pat, you're not allowed to let him in on that one. So, anyway, guys, it's Deb.
And Laura.
Until the next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, bye.
What it is, everyone. I'm Jacob Meza, the host of the podcast So It Is Told. Each week I read a new folk tale or fairy tale with a local comedian and or world traveler. Like your drunk grandma reading a bedtime story, there's suspense.
Oh my god, they are cannibals!
Magic. And all-around madness.
They're birthing hips!
Available on any mainstream podcast directory. Fresh.